In this video, we're going to be discussing a few quick tips to grow your business. We'll also be talking to an entrepreneur who's trying to redefine a culture of exercise. In just over 1 year, he's managed to grow his business from a small WhatsApp group to a whole community with over 100 people. Welcome to episode 2 of Let's Talk Business, where we discuss all things business. Now, this episode is all about growth and how to achieve it. Now, failure to grow means that your business will never realize its full potential. Eventually, it will get fizzled out by all the other competitors in the market space. Now, the topic of growth is so big and vast that it can't actually be covered in this one video, but that's fine. This episode is focused on giving you, the viewer, just quick advice on how you can take tips to grow your business quite quickly. Now, essentially, to put your business in the best position for growth, you need to zoom in on 3 key focus areas. So before we talk about those 3 key focus areas, remember this: your operating model sits beneath everything you do in your business. Anytime you employ a new strategy, anytime you make a change, make sure you're considering what that means for your operating model and how you need to adapt it. Now, in episode 1, I posted a link to a free download for a business planning guide that I made. This should give you a good understanding of what the operating model is and how you set it up and how it should adapt with your business. Great, now that that's covered, let's get into it. Focus area 1, the customer. Now, every business starts and ends with the customer. No customer, no business. It's as simple as that. Now, to grow and maintain that growth, your business needs competitive advantage. And competitive advantage essentially boils down to who does the customer favor more. Therefore, when thinking about business growth, it has to be in direct proportion to your customer growth. That's growth in numbers, quality, level of satisfaction, and loyalty. So here are some key tips and strategies in order to grow in this focus area known as the customer. 1, invest in a good CRM system. Now, CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. Now, as the title suggests, it's simply the means by which your business manages its relationships with its customers. Having a good CRM system in place is going to help you to store a lot of key data and key insights that will help you improve the overall experience for your customer. Now, as your customer base grows, so will the level of your interaction as well. Now, imagine trying to monitor all your email campaigns and transactions for 200 customers on a manual spreadsheet. It's a headache. A good CRM system is going to help you to automate a lot of things. Now, there's so many strategic uses for a good CRM system, and you should definitely research them all in your own time. But essentially, not having one in place leaves your business blind to opportunities. Your sales function especially will be hindered if it doesn't have one. 2, map out the full customer journey. Now, in simple terms, the customer journey is the point the customer first starts interacting with your business to the point they make the purchase, and even after that. By mapping out this journey, you can visually understand the whole customer experience. This allows you to determine where you are engaging successfully and where you aren't. So if you definitely want your business to grow, you need to understand how the customer moves through it and where you can capitalize on opportunities to give them great value. 3, establish a loyalty scheme. Now, as I mentioned in episode 1, it takes so much more effort to market to new customers, to find them, to interact with them, than it does with the ones you have already. Therefore, keeping customers loyal is key to your growth. Now, customer loyalty is heavily based on customer satisfaction. So before employing really cool and innovative loyalty schemes and referral incentives, make sure you've poured your resources into improving the customer journey so that the overall satisfaction rates will be better. Now, having a good loyalty program not only helps to retain your customers, but it also incentivizes new ones to actually purchase with you. For example, if you're a coffee store, you could say after 4 coffees, you get the 5th one free. Or you could offer a 10% discount for every time one customer refers another to your product or service. And finally, number 4, providing community support. Make sure you do research on what communities your customers are part of, what communities they're normally interested in. When you find that, make sure you do all you can to support those communities. This could be through sponsorships, it could be through participating in their events, but make sure you're known, make sure you're associated with what's special to the customer themselves. Because what happens then? Your brand perception becomes a lot more positive and your brand awareness goes up. The more people speak about your business in a positive light, the more people want to be associated with it, the more people are going to want to purchase from you. So yeah, that's focus area number 1. Now, focus area number 2 is all about market penetration. Now, growth and expansion go hand in hand. Now, market expansion simply refers to when you introduce your products or your services into new markets or wider parts of your existing market. The best way to highlight this is using the Ansoff Matrix. Now the matrix in its most basic form is a 4x4 grid that shows you 4 different strategies you can take to expand your business, to expand into new markets. Strategy number 1, penetrate the market. This is where you sell your existing products and services in your existing market. For example, if you have a car wash business, you could offer your service in South London only. Now, this strategy is simply all about dominating the market with the most strategic pricing and marketing. Make sure it's better than your competitors. Now, aggression is key. It's going to be the game changer. It's you against your competitors, and you want to make it seem silly for potential customers to even consider going for your competitors when you're offering a better product or service. Now, don't go spreading fake news or smear campaigns about your competitors. Don't hang around their customers saying, well, that's pretty dumb, why are you going with them? You're not trying to use underhanded tactics. You're just trying to make sure that your light shines better than everyone else's. Strategy number 2, developing the market. Now, this is where you sell your existing products or services in new markets. For example, selling your car wash service in North London now. Now, this requires a lot of research beforehand as you're moving into new territory. Think about differences in user groups, in culture, in buying behaviors. How does that affect how you operate, how you market? Sure, there's more risk involved in it, but the benefits and gains are so much more as well. Strategy number 3, developing your product or service. Now, this is where you sell a new product or a new service in your existing market. So in addition to your car washing service in South London, well, now you might decide to start selling car fresheners or however you say it. Finally, strategy 4, diversification. Now, this is about selling new products and services in new markets. For example, you might decide to sell your car fresheners in another country. Now, this is by far the most riskiest strategy, and it requires the most planning and due diligence beforehand. But the big benefit of this strategy is that if one part of your business goes down and another part stays afloat, then there's less risk involved in your business going bust. Finally, you don't have to stick to one strategy alone. You can build up to each in a clear staged approach. So yeah, that's focus area number 2, market expansion. Now finally, focus area 3, strategic alliances. Now, strategic alliances and collaborations are when 2 or more businesses decide to work together to meet a common goal. And you see it all the time when music artists do features together or when YouTube stars do videos together. Now, this is a great way to increase your competitive advantage, and it should be a key part of your growth plan for the following reasons. 1, accessing new customers and markets. Simply put, you benefit from accessing your partner's customers and markets, and vice versa. 2, outgrowing the competition. A collaboration gives you greater presence within your market. Therefore, it makes it much harder for your competitor to outshine you. 3, knowledge and resource sharing. Now, different businesses are great at different things, and when put together, you can be a formidable force. For example, you might be a software company who's really good at tech, and you merge with a marketing company who's good at reaching out to customers in innovative ways. You get to benefit from their expertise in marketing, and they get to benefit from your expertise in technology. And that's it, guys. 3 key focus areas for driving business growth. Now let's get some practical advice from the founder of Climber on how he's grown his business from a WhatsApp group to a community with 100 people and growing.
My name is Rotimi. I run a indoor climbing community called Climber. We've been going for over a year now, and literally a community which sort of sprung out of a hobby, and a hobby which sort of gravitated other people to join me. I would say it's culture changing the perception of indoor climbing, changing the sort of the makeup of what people perceive to be a climber is, an indoor climber, particularly sort of indoor-outdoor activity. So the current narrative is that, to be frank, that black people don't do outdoor activity. They don't do like climbing, whether that's indoor climbing or outdoor climbing or just skiing or stuff like that. And I think there is this sort of like heavy narrative, particularly with like marketers are not trying to advertise to people who look like myself and yourself, because they feel that there isn't like any value in that. And I'm hoping to hopefully that change that perception and change that sort of narrative. I think I see us just being a brand which people gravitate towards because they understand that we're changing culture. Hopefully in 10 years and 5 years now, we have our own sort of climbing wall, and that we have more people coming towards us. Like we have more people that we can sponsor, potentially sponsor athletes, potentially have like a brand be mixed with culture heavily. That'd be really cool. I think for us, it's community focus. We're a community brand, so just helping or more people sort of sharing in our vision is what I see as growth. So just getting more numbers through the doors, more sort of data in terms of like saying to like a big brand or like a government, saying, hey, we're getting like 100 people per week climbing. You know, look at us, look what we're doing, look how we're trying to change sort of the landscape particularly. For me, it's definitely about numbers and sort of trying to sort of impact individual lives. Because in a community, when I think of community, I think of like a safe space. And I feel like a lot of people, when they sort of gravitate towards us, when they see us on like Instagram or come across our content, is that, oh, there's people who look like me, and I feel safe to go there. Like they understand there's going to be that sort of culture sort of connection already. And I feel growth really looks like sort of amassing more people towards our community and sort of going not from just London, maybe Berlin, maybe Paris, you know, growing those communities outwards. As an individual, I've always been quite sporty. From a young age, I played all sorts of sports from like tennis to basketball, heavily into like learning like about mobility and how the body sort of moves. Funny enough, the reason why I got into climbing, because I was at a boot camp, and in that boot camp, my friend, who happened to be a female, just told me that she's a climber. I was like, I've never been before, because I just never thought it was something that I could do. And then I went with her and I loved it the first day. Then after that, I was like, I'm hooked. And then just naturally and organically, I started sharing stuff on like Instagram, Facebook and stuff like that. And my friends just gravitated towards it and said, hey, can I join you next time I go? Then I just went like every week. Somebody else would say, can I join? Then I just formed like a WhatsApp group. From WhatsApp group, I formed like an Instagram page. Then we did some like YouTube clips as well. So it's literally been super organic. It's not something I had in the background of my mind to do. It's not something I ever thought I'd be doing, because like I was never really interested in climbing to like this time. Even 2 years ago, I was never interested in climbing. So it's just something that's been super organic, super sort of natural, and super cool, and really cool to do as well. So people who have climbed for the first time for us, would be probably over 120 people have climbed for the first time through Climber. In our community, like active members, people who come like sort of like every week and every 2 weeks, we get anywhere between like 10 to 25 people turn up to a climbing wall, which is really cool. I mean, social media, man. Social media, just getting our face or name out there so people can see who we are. I think social media gives you a platform to sort of reach to people that you can't sort of reach physically. And I think that's allow people to see our content, allow people to find out like what we do, and sort of like add a face to a name as a sort of thing as well. So social media has helped quite a bit. I would start this way. Yeah, I would start that way. And then also,
go on then.
And that's episode 2, guys. Short and sweet, mate. Thank you so much for watching. As usual, remember to like the video, share it to all your friends and family, your network, your colleagues, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. I shall not be walking off screen.